Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and it's been a while since we've done this. Last time we tried to record, it was
my audio didn't get picked up. This is why I'm wearing headphones now to ensure everybody's microphone is working.
mainly yours.
Yeah, something with the jack. Well, you saw. I showed you the jack is like pushed in a little bit.
Yeah, but we recorded a whole episode of Man Men, our podcast we collaborate with.
Yeah, worked perfectly fine then. And then, I mean, hopefully they didn't say anything's wrong with the file. So.
No, I think we're good there.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, we are watching Knock at the Cabin this week. M. Night Shyamalan's newest thriller, suspense. And we got, we got
a guest.
Our, John, I don't know how to describe you.
Frequent collaborator on Doing the Debates.
I wanted to collaborate, but I was like, I don't know what to say.
Freaking guest.
Frequent guest. You say freaking guest?
Freaking guest.
No, frequent guest.
Yeah, he's our freaking guest, man.
Yeah, brother. Woo! All right, Ric Flair. Okay, so let's get away from this. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So, Knock at the Cabin. It was. What did you think of it? Because me and him saw it together, but we didn't see it with you. Like, what was your overall thoughts of the movie? Quickly.
I'm going to tack it as just a movie, not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I thought it was okay.
Okay.
It was a thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay. John?
Mid. Definite mid. Yeah. I mean, I can't not see it as an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So
there's certain things, yeah.
Yeah, with certain things, I'll get into why I think it's mid, but I definitely think if they had a different director, I would have been more positive towards it.
Because we always expect, a surprise. There was none in this movie. No fucking twist. In the last two movies, he's had no twists.
Well, yeah, if you
didn't have one in this one.
I'm just saying, if you had any other director do it, exactly the same. I just think it's because it's M. Night, you're expecting something crazy to happen.
The problem with this one, it was directed very well.
Oh, absolutely.
The production of it, the extreme close-ups made it very unsettling, but also with Dave Bautista in that one, the very first scene with, Wen and Leonard, it kept getting closer and closer to their faces. And it was very unsettling.
They would angle the cameras super tilted.
Yeah, very canted.
Yep.
And it's... Dave Bautista's performance is just so,
amazing. So good.
I want to see
highlight.
It was amazing, but it was gentle. He had this gentle sense to him because he's like a teacher, apparently, we find out. And it just works. And it's a side of him we don't really get to see too often. And I like that.
You guys are making me like this movie a little more. Like, when I came out of it, because I just saw it, and I'm just like, it's all right. I mean, mid is like, probably the best word. Like, I'd give it 3 stars.
It's definitely mid. It's definitely mid.
Yeah.
But
it definitely.
The directing was very good.
The camera work was great and the acting was great, but the actual plot.
The score was great too. I have to give.
They had one song.
I didn't notice the score at all. So I can't judge that.
The sound effects, at least, were definitely. He's just knocking the whole time, but it's still.
I thought
it gets you.
I give a B+ to Rupert Grint's accent.
Yeah,
it's good enough.
Me for a loop.
I thought he was going to be from Kentucky. He's like, I'm from Massachusetts. I was like, that's not how anyone from Boston talks. Do you want to get into all 4 of them since we're talking about acting?
Yeah, let's talk about the 4 horsemen.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, spoiler, but good job.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Really?
You didn't get that?
That was off the rip I got. That was why, and again, I'll talk about it in a second when we go into endings, because they literally basically straight up say, they spell out what's going on. I was so annoyed because when it was subtle how they're wearing the colors of the horsemen, they're going in order of the horsemen go in the Bible tale. I'm like, this is very hinted, but definitely a clear metaphor. But then they go, it's the 4 horsemen. Did you know it's the 4 horsemen? This is war.
It felt
that's famine. I was like, bro,
so it's
shut up.
So it's I didn't get that it was actually the 4 horsemen because I don't know anything about that story. I don't know their colors and any of that stuff.
As you said about the colors, though, Andrew had a little bit of every single color in there. That's how you know he's going to survive. In his shirt, he had every
he has
one of the colors on his shirt.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you kind of
spoilers again.
I didn't pick that up.
Oh well, it's not
I don't care.
There is spoilers in this podcast. People are aware.
I mean, I thought because it said Philadelphia on it, I thought that was more of a reference to the Philadelphia movie with Tom Hanks in it.
No. No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Layers, bro. Layers.
All M. Night Shyamalan's movies are set in Pennsylvania. That's why.
Are they? Are they really?
Yes. Most of them. If you think about it, most
probably.
except old.
Last Airbender. No.
Old and Last
Technically.
Airbender.
Technically, that was not in Philly. No one was bending fire in Philly.
But yeah, as I said, I want to say the first half to 2/3 of the movie, really well done. Very well written, well choreographed, well just acted. And the end, man. The end just kind of fell so flat, very predictable after that. And it was like, come on. It left you wanting more. And we didn't get it.
It's really hard to explain. So it's like, I don't hate this movie. And like, so it's like, as a movie, I think it's like, it's okay, it's fine, whatever. Yeah. As an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right.
Exactly.
With his track record of like being really good, then absolute dog shit. Like he goes the gamut, bro. So this movie, I'd say it's a little better with him because like, it's like, I give him a little gold star. It's like, he made a watchable movie, buddy. Like, I don't like M. Night Shyamalan pretty much at all.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's go back to the Four Horsemen. So Leonard. Let's start with Leonard. So
You want to start with Leonard, or you want to start with what's his name? Redmond.
Redmond.
You want to just go in the order?
Order of the Horsemen.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
go with Redmond. So, like I said, his accent, he definitely sounded like he was a hillbilly, and it turned out he lived in the middle of Boston.
It's a
So
hillbilly.
that threw me off. That threw me off. But I think I definitely bought. What's the actor's name? Ron
Rupert
Weasley.
Grant.
Rupert Grint, yeah.
So Ron Weasley.
You just asked his name. You didn't even say his name.
Listen, you played one character for your entire life and then stopped doing movies.
Wait,
You're Ron Weasley.
You know. Well, yeah, he stopped doing it.
Do we know why
Daniel
he
Radcliffe.
came back for this movie? Just because he was
Well,
bored?
so he did Servant, where like M. Night
M.
Shyamalan
Night
is like
Shyamalan.
producing that or whatever. So I guess they met up or whatever, and they're like, hey, I like you. You know,
Did he run out of money for his ice cream truck? You know he has that, right? He has an ice cream truck. That's what he gave up movies for, was for ice cream trucks.
Glad he had a family.
Okay,
I mean, come on.
who needs a family though? I mean,
Relax,
when you got
come
ice
on.
cream,
You got ice cream. Well, so I definitely bought him as like an intolerant, like bigot.
Yep.
Just how he had that anger in him. So I thought he did really good.
Yeah, he was just like,
Then there's the second one that was Adrian, I believe. She
Yes,
was the,
Adrian.
yeah.
she's the mom.
She was the mom of the
Yes.
Charlie. That scene was really well done. She's like, my son, please, dear God, don't let me die. I hear he screams in my dreams and everything. I'm just like, that's fucking awful.
That's the one thing I actually liked about
Yeah.
this. It's very subtle because they could have gone down the route of they were like fully like dedicated to this and they were like no questions asked whatsoever. But like they still had the actors portray them in a way where they're like, we don't want to be here either. Like we're like when they killed when they killed Redmond and they start like puking and they're like, oh my God, it shows that like I think it's very well that they made them actual humans that like still fear what they're doing and they're not like just mindless murder machines.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
it's
they're
could've-
not the actual.
because you
like
could
a
have easily
Strangers
seen
thing.
like you could have easily seen the four of them be like 4 cult members and they're like totally fine with killing, but the fact that they just went out of their way to show like Leonard's character puking in the corner or what was the
Sabrina.
Sabrina just like
She's
just
a
like,
nurse.
she's
Like,
a nurse and
yeah.
she's like trying to patch up Eric's head after he gets a concussion.
Yeah.
So I thought the acting, I thought like subtle stuff like that. Or
They were
even
very well fleshed out characters.
definitely. And like even I thought that I don't know if you picked up on this. So every time a horseman would die, they said a part of humanity has been judged, and at the very end, where Batista is left, he goes, "All of humanity has been judged." I thought again, like subtle stuff like that, I thought really made the movie, and that was all done by their acting.
So I might have just missed the
All
why.
this?
Well, okay, so I have it. It hasn't really clicked for me. Like why? So the whole reason that the Four Horsemen are there is to get one of them to sacrifice.
So the four horsemen are what lead to the apocalypse.
Right. So when they die, then an event happens, right?
Correct.
Why are they killing each other then? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
like
they're killing them. They're killing each other because Eric Andre, is that his name? Or Andrew?
Andrew.
Eric Andre. Like the comedian.
It's Andrew and Eric.
And
Wen.
And Wen. So the family, they're saying, hey, you guys need to make a sacrifice. You guys have to be selfless in your act. And every time they don't, they go, well, now we have to step in. And that's when killing themselves causes...
That's just what causes it. There's no explanation. That's just what causes it.
They're killing themselves as a result of them not wanting to be selfless.
Yeah, there's no actual explanation for why that happens. Unless there's stuff like
so they're
in
just
the
like,
Bible about it, but I don't know.
I mean, let me get this straight. I'm not a big Bible guy. Everyone and their mother has done a Four Horsemen type deal. Like Supernatural has done it a bunch. All those CW shows. So the Four Horsemen are just in pulp culture. So I don't know the actual story. But again, I think it just comes down to that they're testing humanity. This is a little sample size of humanity. Hey, will you sacrifice what you love most in order to protect the greater good? And
so let me get
the choice, as they keep saying.
The choice, yeah.
And God, for lack of a better term, is creating this event, whatever, and and so the Four Horsemen ask the family, "Hey, do you want to make a sacrifice?" And no, fuck you. And then so then they kill one of the horsemen just.
That sets off things.
Killing one of the horsemen then sets off an apocalyptic type event. And then once the final horseman goes, the entire apocalypse is in set.
So I understand, but the horsemen in this movie are reluctant. They don't want apocalyptic events to happen.
Right. Because and again, this comes back to their acting, because Andrew is like, you guys are just psychotic. You're having mental episodes, and that could very well be the case.
Yeah.
Is it just that they're tortured and then they want to end it, or because they have free will, they still.
Well, that's the thing. So they're saying how they keep seeing dreams. They have visions.
So it's driving them crazy.
It's driving them crazy,
and
they're convinced that.
They need
which they end up being right because they show apocalyptic events, but they're basically.
They didn't want to believe it either until. Right. The first one died, and then that set off the chain of the tsunami.
Mm-hmm. I'm just missing the point where it's well, you guys don't want to do it, and they know that killing themselves isn't going to do anything anyway. So you know what I mean?
Killing them would do something. It would stop the apocalypse. So let's do
killing the horsemen would stop the apocalypse, because I thought it was causing it.
Them. So we'll be the sample group here. So say Four Horsemen come in, and they're like, hey, one of you guys need to decide. And if we say, no, go fuck yourself, we're letting 7 billion people die.
Right. So then what's the purpose of...
These four are saying, we need humanity to live on. We have to do this.
Or we're going...
Or the world's going to end. Yeah. And they're like...
But they're the ones causing it with their death. When they die, the event happens. So just don't die.
They have.
Am I missing this, or
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
No, I think so. You're saying if they just
they're saying, hey, we don't want to kill ourselves. We don't want the apocalypse to happen.
Right. So
when we kill ourselves, it's gonna happen though. And you guys don't want to sacrifice yourself to stop something that we're also trying to stop, but we're also in control of it somehow.
So you're saying it's convoluted.
It's
right,
why?
They're saying if they don't want to cause it, why would Redmond?
Why would he kill himself? Why would he sacrifice himself?
I think again that just comes down to the actual story.
It's I know it's inherent to the story, but
Read
it's
the book.
in the Bible though, the horsemen are yo, fuck humanity. I assume they're the bad guys. They want to do this,
right?
But these people don't want to do it. So it would be it'd be different if they were actively being tortured and they're they had the sense.
I mean, mentally they're seeing, what's the the one that has a family, the mom.
Oh, Adrian.
She's talking about how every night she goes to sleep and she's holding her son who's on fire.
And she hears screams or whatever.
Right, and then Leonard sees visions of the huge tsunami going over, or at the end when he is quoting the actual End of Times news reporter saying this is the End of Times, he's quoting it
because he's heard it before.
Because he's seen it in his head before.
He's seen it constantly over and over and over. And at the very beginning, they're showing shots of scribbles and everything on I don't know if you noticed this. It was on a nursing's call sheet or on a teacher's grade book. So it's them drawing down all these.
They're seeing
all these things they're seeing. So
what will happen upon their death?
I think it was just going to happen regardless. So honestly, I think killing the horseman, I still think the apocalyptic event still would have happened.
Maybe all at once. Or
Yeah, maybe.
So.
We can come up with an explanation.
That's why it's on a timer.
Either way, I'm not seeing a point.
Okay.
I'm not seeing I'm not seeing that clearly explained in the movie.
I didn't want to bring this up until later, but in the book, this stuff.
How long's the book?
I don't know, but it came out in 2018. It came out in 2018.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a very recent book. So it's called the Cabin at the End of the World is the name of the book.
And nice title. I like that title.
That would have probably been a bit. Well,
so
for a movie setting.
In the book, it changes who's left at the end. Leonard gets killed, and it ends up with Sabrina at the end instead of Leonard.
So is Sabrina still like kind of is she like Dave Bautista anyway? Like
so, Adrian gets killed or is shot to death or whatever.
The nurse.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not the nurse. Adrian's the mother.
Famine.
Adrian.
Sophia's the nurse. Okay, sorry.
Sophia's
a lot of names.
No, it's Sabrina.
Whatever. Sabrina.
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, that one.
Let me get back to my
the
point.
Nurse.
So.
I didn't mean that.
The nurse. So you're saying.
Hold on.
Yes, I'm listening.
The nurse is she abandons her task in the book. Yes, she's like, "Fuck this." Leonard dies.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever happens because of that,
and
that would explain it better.
It still happens.
It still happened. Okay.
It still happens even before she kills herself. It still happens because it's on a timer. That's why they keep looking at their watches and everything.
Okay, so the book kind of goes more into
yes,
that role.
and there's a bigger part in that with while Andrew and Leonard are fighting over the gun in the cabin.
We have to talk about that, by the way, because I was in the theater with him. I was pissed the whole time.
And we'll get to that, but Gwen is killed in the book.
Oh, really?
She's shot
Wow.
accidentally. That would have been a good fucking twist, but they didn't do it. They changed it.
So,
but she's not sacrificed though. So
no, so she's not sacrificed. That's why it still keeps happening. So that makes it even harder of a choice for the two dads to kill each other.
Well, see, again, I think just like a lot of books, they go way more into detail, which they could have done here.
Yep.
But
anyway, so let's talk about that scene. You just wanted to talk about.
They don't. This movie did not know how weapons work or windows work at all. I was mad. I'm sitting next to this guy. I'm like, that's not how that works.
with the sledgehammer on the car door.
Yep.
Oh, my, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yep.
That thing's made of pure metal, and she hits it, and it like spider webs. Those windows don't spider web.
She hits like 3 times before it finally
takes
breaks.
3 hits from a solid metal sledgehammer for it to break the window. First off,
I get wanting to build suspense, but that's fucking ridiculous.
And also, is that like a real weapon that she has?
no, they made them all.
Yeah, because I don't think that makes sense to have a sledgehammer head on a chain.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose power in your swing.
No, it definitely. They said how they like saw visions and they created their own weapon. So like Batista's was like an axe, but then it had like a pitchfork tied to it.
Yeah.
Like it served no purpose whatsoever.
You can stab and chop.
Right. And then same thing with Redmond's weapon. It was
That looked more like just a pickaxe kind of thing.
It was like a weird. It was like a curved wooden handle with like a weird sledgehammer head with a weird kind of like.
It had a spike at the end.
It had a spike at the end of it, but then the bottom was like a sword. It had like a blade that stabbed someone. It made no. But again, these are their visions, so they're seeing it. But even so at the very beginning, they're like barricading the cabin, right? And they just put a couch in front of a fully glass paneled door. So logically speaking, you would just smash the glass panel and just walk over the couch because you can get in. So Redmond didn't know how windows work, so he punched one window and then proceeded to reach his arm in and then try to play around with the doorknob.
In his
instead
defense,
of just going through.
In his defense, it wasn't like exactly like a plate glass. Like it had like little like a crossbar
the
in it.
little wood trimming. Everyone knows you can go right
he could
through
fuck that up, but like I'm just.
He didn't even try. He just did one. He was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna reach my arm in now." It's like
only he had a wand.
Exactly. He still wouldn't know what to
Oculus Reparo.
But also, they talk about a gun for a while, and they find what was it, Andrew? Yeah, Andrew finally crawls his way out of the cabin into the car where the gun is, and he opens up the safe, and it opens, and it's the gun, a magazine, and the ammo. And the first thing I said to Dan was, "Why the fuck is that magazine not filled?" I was like, if you want to have them separate, by all means, go ahead. But that should be ready to like lock and load. You don't need to. They fiddle fucking with the ammo. Yeah. I'm like, this is why we don't.
The dude had huge plot armor in that scene.
And like,
I was like,
and I'm thinking, like, why would you fill more than one bullet?
That's what I said too. I was like, you just need one right now. Just fill. But then
and just take your time. You know, like you're in, and then she hasn't even broken the window. Just go. Exactly. All right, she's out.
Well, so exactly.
There's a warning shot. You had that
He gives
too.
a warning shot,
bro. She killed somebody in front of you.
You
like,
were held hostage, my guy.
She fucking clipped your knee at
your leg. You can't walk now.
I honestly think that's the part in the movie where it started to lose me. Like right as he started going for the car. That's
like you
where
had the
me.
MacGuffin. You had the trump card.
Yep.
And then it's one thing, because I first thought he missed. Because like he shoots.
I can see that.
I still couldn't. It's less than a yard away. That's point blank range. But then when he's like, the next one goes in your head, I was like, you missed on purpose. You missed on purpose.
Like, what's the game plan after that? Like,
there was none. So he proceeds to let her run away, whatever, and then he starts threatening Batista. Like again, you just watch this guy kill at this point 2 other people, and is threatening to kill you, and you're like, I'm just gonna fucking point the gun at him. I'm just gonna. I'm like,
yep.
You had the trump card. You could have ended everything.
I was thinking that I would have shot Dave Bautista in the face.
That's what I'm saying. And you would have been absolutely justified to do that.
It's like they kidnapped me.
They kidnapped
killed
you.
2
they
people in
two
front
people.
of me.
They are clearly having some sort of delusional state, and they just hold it. They don't do anything with it.
All right. Before we go too much further, let's get into the other characters. Let's go to Eric, Andrew, and Wen. So, Wen is at the very beginning. She's catching the grasshoppers in the whole thing. I'm like, oh, that's a plot. That's a fucking symbolism if I ever saw one. They're all trapped in a fucking cabin together just like that. It's like,
guess what? No, it wasn't.
What?
It wasn't.
What?
They kept referencing to the grasshoppers, and I kept thought it was going to be something, and it never ended.
I mean, the symbolism was them trapped in the cabin.
Them trapped in the cabin. That was that symbolism, but there was like a lot more. So I thought,
I think there's more stuff in the Notebook where we had to kind of pause it and see what it actually said. There probably was more stuff there.
I'm gonna have to read that book.
Yeah. Had to wait for the breakdown.
I guess because she's like, I'm going to study. I'm going to figure out these grasshoppers, and then she kind of like.
I'm sure there was probably more stuff.
She's in 2nd grade.
Nerd. You dork.
Goddamn Jesus.
I just like grasshoppers. But no, she's like, so I was expecting like the grasshoppers to maybe come in handy by like, it's a glass jar. You can smash it over somebody's head, and then like the grasshoppers might die. You could be like sacrificing lives or something like that.
The setup was there, but it just didn't pay off. I mean,
a lot of things.
I didn't even think about it after they got rid of it.
No, there were a lot of stuff that they hint, which again, kind of leads to the ending of my overall rating, was they hinted at a lot of stuff that made you think, oh, something's up, and it never panned out. So Redmond, knowing them.
Yeah, that was weird.
That could have been not in the movie, period, and it would have had 0 effect on it. So Redmond attacking them in a bar, no point. The fact that after the second apocalypse, the essentially like the COVID apocalypse, whatever. The
viral plague.
Was that what it was? It was some kind of crazy name, but it was clearly a metaphor for that.
Yeah.
It said at the bottom, a pre-recording, and they even brought it up. They're like, "This is fake because that's a pre-recording." Didn't pay off.
The thing with this stuff is like, I get it. You want to put it. It's kind of relevant nowadays. I get it, but it just didn't. It didn't go anywhere. Like none of it went anywhere.
You're expecting, because now you're questioning, oh, is this real? What's going on?
Exactly.
That's what you're saying. And then at the end goes, no, none of that mattered.
Yeah, it didn't matter at all.
It was all real. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
Especially like for me, I don't know if you noticed this. When they got rid of Redmond, they're dragging him out, and they just do a long shot on the woods. Like they're clearly in the background, but all your attention is drawn to the woods. So the whole time I'm thinking something's going on outside of those woods.
Are you talking like the shot where it's like in the doorway?
Yeah, it's like in the doorway.
Yeah.
So you have the door frame and you have Batista drag him out, but then they just stay on that shot for like a long time. I don't know if it was my eyes, but I could have sworn I saw some running in those woods, man.
Oh, I didn't see anything like that. I took that shot as just being like, oh, it's so close. Like freedom's so close, and then the Dave Bautista closes the door on it. Like I thought it was just that kind of thing. I
didn't see anything, but.
Well, I mean, I could have just been like trying. That could have been my brain.
Yeah, like
tricks,
what?
Because I'm like, what's something's going on?
These guys are smarter than me.
Something's in these woods, man.
This
is Dave Bautista's year, baby. I'm telling you right now, Oscars. Oscars for my boy Dave.
So he was really good in this movie, but I'm not. I don't.
I'm saying Oscars, not for this movie, but I'm saying he's got.
Eventually, he is going to be the best wrestler.
He looks like
actor.
a thumb. You know that.
Hey.
What's up? So is it
zoomed in shots where it's angled? I'm like, it's just his big head.
Remember that close up on his mouth? And
Yes.
you just see his girl like, it's like, are you gonna make a decision? And it's like, oh, gross, dude. Like,
Yeah, Cameron doesn't like him that much.
but like, yeah. So what's with the whole? Why is his head like that?
Grooves, all the grooves. It's a mix.
Is that just
of,
a muscle man thing, or like?
It's a mix of steroids as well as when you wrestled back in the day. You would actually like have to cut yourself because back in the 90s it was like the Attitude Era, so like there'd be blood everywhere. So they would actually just slice themselves. So they would carry they would have like a little razor. They'd get handed a razor and they do a little cut to cause all that blood. So those are scars from that as well.
Jeez.
Yeah, the 90s is a
dedication.
It was a time.
Brother.
It was a time.
Yeah, no. So you guys want to talk about the ending itself? Because I got a lot to say about that.
Let's see if I got anything else here. Well, we didn't really talk about Eric and Andrew's backstory and all that stuff. I mean, it was good.
It's just
I believe them as a couple.
Yes,
They had good chemistry.
100%.
yeah.
100%. They were really well done, really fleshed out. Especially that scene, like the parents drove 7 hours to see them, and it was just a really awkward scene. I was like,
Right.
oh.
I don't know what that's like, but I could be like,
Like I said, I could definitely see them as like an actual couple. So I definitely bought their
After a
relationship.
few times, though, it started getting a little preachy. I get it. It fits well with the narrative, but it was getting a little preachy.
Yeah,
I think.
true.
so the thing is like, it would be one thing if there was like a theme behind like homophobic attacks. Mm-hmm. That wasn't really the case. It was just kind of like
Well, they tried
they
to do
were
that
here.
with Redmond. They tried to do that
Yeah,
with
but
Redmond.
it had no
just-
effect on the
exactly.
story whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
I mean,
just
it
kind of
of
it's doing like
explained
a half-assed thing right now.
Yeah, but it kind of explained like Andrew's temper
Yes.
because it talked about how like he had to go
He's
to
fucking done.
therapy. He has to start taking boxing classes, which
He got a gun license and all that stuff too. Yeah, he got all that stuff.
yeah.
So I mean, it's
Again, if you're going to the gun store,
Yeah,
don't dress up
yeah.
like that. That's you show up in a hoodie with a hat on with your hoodie up in the gun store.
That's Hollywood
a
speak
little
for
weird,
like
man.
he's very serious
Well,
about getting a gun.
Pointing it just straight at the guy who's selling the gun.
Yeah,
Like, whoa,
like,
hey,
it was out of
my
focus.
dude.
It was out of focus though, but like I couldn't tell if he had his finger on the trigger or off it. So.
He did not have it on the trigger.
Okay,
I
that's
made
good.
sure. That was the first thing I looked at. I was like, wait a minute.
Cool. Oh yeah, let's talk about the end. So
Right. I hated it. Horrible.
okay,
that they were right or like
That again, you advertise it so heavily. M. Night Shyamalan. He has that
he has the notion of being
notion
like, having
of doing
twists,
a
right?
twist ending. And again, I was talking to him. I'm like, I'm like, so these are the horsemen, right? So like in the very beginning, it was very subtle, like little hints here and there that like it was a metaphor. But then when I think Eric just starts straight up saying,
He's like, they're the four horsemen.
They're the four
We need to
horsemen. And then he's like breaking it down, and they're showing a picture. They're showing like. A picture of his driver's license or Leonard's classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when you just straight up say you're too stupid to understand what's going on, so I'm gonna that pissed me off.
Well, it's like, so like, yeah, I did feel like that, where I'm just like, oh, you guys didn't have to spell it out, but I probably wouldn't have gotten it out of the theater. I would have been like, oh, it's just a weird cult that like wanted to start so I wouldn't have connected the four horsemen to it, and I'd probably go online, watch a video essay,
and then your mind would have been blown. But that's
and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
But again, that you're just saying your audience is stupid. When you're like, yeah, hey, in case you couldn't figure up on the hour and 30 minutes of hintage we were putting in before, this is what it is, you stupid bitch. Give me your money. But
You already got it,
that's what he was saying. But I also I just hated that they're like, yeah, so it was the apocalypse. That was it. All this stuff that was hinting that, hey, something funky might be going on here. Nope, no relevance whatsoever.
I would have liked to see like a
it's just misdirection. I mean, use of that. If they did it well, it could have been really cool. But it's just
because immediately I was talking to you about it. What would you think? Okay, so same movie all the way up to the end, and then at like the very end, it somehow pans and there's like another cabin, and it shows.
Guys, you went to the wrong cabin.
Oh no!
Shit.
God.
No wonder this is going on. No, so it goes to like a different cabin, and it shows like maybe some photos of different families that also had to do this.
Like say for other apocalyptic events.
So say like 9/11, say that happened because someone didn't make a sacrifice.
The potato famine in Ireland.
Or the Black Plague, like something that showed that hey, this has been going on for history. I would have immediately been like,
that
this
would
is
have
a
opened.
solid.
Yeah, what the movie implies is way more interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
than the
I would
actual
have
movie.
given it. That would have been an A+ movie for me if it had that ending. But the fact that they just drove away and you're like, okay, this happened. That's it.
I would have liked to see maybe from. Well, I don't know, because I was kind of ruined the mystery a little bit, but like knowing what Leonard is going through, like maybe we see like a quick flash of him just being a teacher, and then
I think we got enough of that. I think we got enough of that.
They did do the truck with all their like. He had the picture of the basketball teams that aren't very good.
Yeah,
he's like, we're not that good.
They fleshed him out pretty well, I think. They made him vulnerable and showed how much
her ID
really
card.
is.
They had like a truck with all their personal belongings and stuff.
yeah.
But I could see it being more interesting going further into it. Yeah,
They say it really quickly. This has been going on, like, a bunch of different families have sacrifices.
right.
So
And
I'm like,
if you actually,
that's interesting.
and if you showed that, it showed, hey, this is why the world has been the way it is because other people like that would have a good message. That would have a good twist ending. I think that would have taken
Even if they just say like, oh, 9/11 happened because of this. Because some family in Singapore just decided not to.
right. Like I said, if you showed evidence of like there have been constant reiterations of horsemen doing this test over and over, and that's how our history has been our history, I would have loved the movie because it would have been a great ending. It still would have had the twist.
And we wouldn't need the twist at that point, though.
What do you mean? There is no twist.
there is no
This is the twist.
Yes.
The twist is
The
this
twist
has
is
been going on forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of alluded to it. They didn't go too in depth to that.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
They kind of made like a. I don't even think they actually made like. Did they openly say this is?
It's something to think about. Like they made you think about it, but like they never actually like went out and directly said it. Like they put
Except when they did.
saying
yeah, that part they did do, but
Again, I just found that, and then also they spent like a solid minute turning the radio on and off. So at the very end,
I kind of like that.
I did too.
It was like 4 too many. I was like, because so the daughter and the son, father, same thing.
What?
So the family get in the car and they're about to drive away. They turn the radio on and it's the song playing, Boogie Shoes. So they just look at each other. They turn it off. Look at each other again. Turn it back on. Look at each other again.
Well,
but they turn it back on and off a second time around.
The thing is, first thing is that he turns on the car.
Right.
And he's like, I don't want to think about my partner right now. Turns it off. Then when she's like, probably some dumb shit. She's like, I want to listen to music. And so she turns it on, and then she notices he's like really doesn't want to fucking hear it. Turns it off. Then he's like, okay. Turns it back on because he's like, she wants to remember her dad. He wants to remember him too.
Yeah, and then they turn it off again, and then they turn it back on again.
No, they don't.
No, that was it.
No, they don't.
They did it like 4 times, bro. I definitely get the symbolism, which I liked, but you could have done that with 2 clicks, not 4 or 5 clicks.
It was 3 clicks total.
No,
man.
it wasn't. No, it was definitely.
You could have done it with no clicks. You could have just turned it on, and he goes to do it, and then it's just like,
oh my god.
Could have done that too.
Yeah,
could have done that too. The shot was too long. Not a fan.
We're getting into the weeds on that one.
Again, at this point, I'm just bitter because
worst part of the movie turned on a fucking radio, man. I mean,
it wasn't the worst part of the movie.
All right. John, overall, what's your rating on this movie?
Overall, I give it a 6 out of 10.
60?
It's a 60.
Yeah, 60. Yeah.
Okay.
That's low for us.
Well,
yeah, I'm usually the 85
sorry, I'm real.
I'm gonna give it like a 70. I think it's like if I had to, I'd watch it again. I'm not gonna seek this one out.
Yeah, I don't think this is a once watch movie. It's like old. It's a once watch. It's not gonna.
I don't even want to watch
it gets old real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 73.
Okay.
It was solid. It had a lot of thematic elements that could have gone a little deeper into.
Speaking of deeper, didn't you say that the ending in the book was like wildly different and better?
Well, that was the thing. It was just the twist, and that
she
Leonard
dies?
wasn't the one.
Oh, that they had that she died, but then
Sabrina was the last one instead of Leonard, and then Wen dies in the cabin with the gun, like shoving.
But it doesn't count because it wasn't intentional, so they had to. See, I feel like that also would have been good. So yes,
the original ending of the book would have been good for the movie.
It feels like they kind of watered it down a little bit. Like,
I mean, probably.
And this is an R-rated movie. This is like it's a rare R-rated movie for M. Night Shyamalan.
I thought it was PG-13.
No, they said fuck like 5 or 10 times.
Yeah, but every time they went for every time they did a kill, they would deliberately
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I would have liked Dave Bautista's death if he's just like all of humanity, because it's like a weird close up on his chest for whatever reason. But I would have liked if they
thought he was gonna
stayed
stab himself
on it.
in the heart or something.
I thought if they stayed on it and he slit his throat and you just see like the blood rush down after
Right,
that.
that would have been fine too.
They cut away immediately after he does
So
it.
that's why I thought it was PG-13, because every time something like that happened, they would do a very vast, like abrupt cut somewhere nowhere near it to even like make it think like it's happening.
I agree.
I don't know.
But yeah. So 60, 70, 73. All right. Not very mid.
bad.
It's very mid. This is our first movie of the new year too. Ugh.
What a bummer.
I mean, I didn't expect much from this movie. The last few M. Night Shyamalans haven't been great.
If you said, "Hey, this was an extended like a Black Mirror special," or this was like a Twilight episode, I would have been like, "Oh, this is cool."
You mentioned Twilight Zone.
Yeah, because that's what it really is. Because there are tons of Twilight episodes that are like that someone will be representing something like death or something like that.
If only Jordan Peele was involved.
Jordan Peele. I think if they had a different director without that stigma, I think that would have gotten a higher score. Because I went in expecting stuff, and then I was reading stuff in the lens of an M. Night Shyamalan movie, which again, that could be my fault. Yeah. But when you're advertising as an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you know what you're advertising it as. So if they had a different director or a different ending, that would have gone up in my book.
I think I will go back to this movie to see what was written on that grasshopper page and stuff like that, to see if there was any more little hidden details we missed. But that's probably the only way I'm going to go back to this movie.
I just don't like M. Night Shyamalan. It's always when he makes a good movie recently in the past 10 years. Split was like the best, probably his third best movie. He hasn't been like good since '99.
Sixth Sense, baby.
The old was like I hear
even Glass.
Okay, Glass was
trash.
dog shit. I was so mad. I was so mad in the theater. I'm like, why? Also, Shyamalan can't direct action in any way.
No, he's a suspense guy.
Why would he pick Last Airbender to be one of his movies? It's
we're
only
still,
action.
is that
That's the only thing.
That's who we are again.
Oh no!
And then Glass, like the whole last battle. I'm like, why are you guys like? Even in this movie, where they're like, he's like slowly, calmly walking to the car. Why are you not fucking running?
Well, he also got. I think it was because he was trying to stay quiet because he didn't want to.
Maybe. But it's
also those guys don't know how ropes work either. At one point, you see him like kicking the chair, and there's a good. I'll bring it. There's a good like foot distance between the chair length and the rope binding his foot, and he's like, "I'm just tied up here." Like, no, you're not. You're not at all.
Also, I didn't get the line. Just like if we wanted to hurt you, we use duct tape and not rope. What did that mean?
Oh. Because like
it's
that'd be
pull
like
your
actually
hair
tying them up and keeping them prisoner.
Yeah, like duct tape is like duct tape.
Shut them up.
Yeah,
they didn't actually shut them up.
Like rope can come on and off easier than duct tape can.
Okay.
But that was also from the guy that was beating people up with glass bottles. But that also didn't matter.
Oh well.
Overall, just kind of like a. It's like one of those weird movies. Just like it's all right.
Yeah,
when
it's
you watch
all right.
it.
Yeah,
But when you dive into it, I'm like, why did that happen? Why did that happen? Why is this here? What the fuck?
Well, we talked about all the.
I got kind of angry.
Well, you had all the classic horror movie tropes.
Points. That's the big thing.
The phone didn't work was a classic horror movie trope that annoyed me. The classic they're trying to hide from someone and they're looking on either side of like a barrier, and when they come over one way, they come back and he's right next to them.
Yeah, I hate that.
At least they did it like a double fake out instead of just a single one, what they normally do.
Right.
At the very least, you know.
It was all right.
Yeah, no, definitely starting the year at a mid level right now.
Yeah.
Only up from here, actually.
Well, the next
one you're on?
John Wick 4, baby.
Hell yeah. We're hoping it's gonna be.
I'm nervous. Nervous. It's 4. They're in the desert at one point, but they're in Japan. The trailer seems like they're trying to do a lot. So I'm going in a little sneak preview for our next episode. I'm going in a little hesitant because I'm nervous they're going to jump the shark on this one.
I got to watch 2 and 3 again before we can do that. I've seen 1 recently. But
So 3 was like really filled with like a little too much action.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Keanu actually had an interview recently. He said this is the most action-oriented movie he's ever done. So that's
kind of a bad sign then, because like. But whatever. I'm still hopeful. I like the world building mostly out of those movies, but
Knock on wood.
it's fake wood, but okay.
Knock at the cabin.
Knock on the cabin.
All right, well,
Full circle.
we're wrapping this one up. We're Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE It Beforecast, and on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny.
I'm John.
Nope.
Hey. No, I don't want it. It's fine.
You just want to say Danny?
We're right here.
You're saying I'm Danny?
I'm Danny.
That's it?
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Yeah, we know you don't have social media.
I'm John.
I'm John. I'm here.
Good old John.
Good old John. All right. Well, yeah. Our very next movie, though, is the highly anticipated, hopefully not mid as you hope it is, Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania.
So mid. So mid.
He's not excited
in the
by
mid.
that at
I'm
all.
so done with Marvel.
Quantumania.
They did their arc. It's over. Everything has been done.
Next time, baby. Hopefully, some more surprises than this movie. And, but yeah, it's been an honor as usual. We'll see you next time.